Is Julian Edelman a Hall of Famer? Personally, he's a 3-time Super Bowl champ. He's a Super Bowl MVP. But when you talk about comparing Julian Edelman to players like Torrey Holt and Jimmy Smith and Reggie Wayne and those type of NFL great receivers who are so underrated, especially Jimmy Smith with Jacksonville Jaguars, and you compare Edelman to those type of guys, and you bring up the ring factor. To me, I don't think that's really a fair comparison or debate, because you're talking about Julian Edelman played with the greatest quarterback of all time. It's not even debatable. I mean, Tom Brady has more Super Bowl rings than like any other NFL franchise in NFL history. And Julian Edelman does have 3 Super Bowl rings, like I mentioned, because of Tom Brady. He has a Super Bowl MVP. I'll give him, Super Bowl MVP is incredibly impressive. But at the same time, not too long ago when the Seattle Seahawks won the Super Bowl, Malcolm Smith, the linebacker that barely anybody remembers anymore, won the Super Bowl MVP. So, I really don't think Julian Edelman is a Hall of Famer. And I know lots of people, will probably disagree with me. But like I said, Torrey Holt was absolutely phenomenal. And the fact that he's not in the Hall of Fame yet is really ridiculous. Jimmy Smith was amazing. He's not in the Hall of Fame. Reggie Wayne, he played with Manning, Peyton Manning during his time with the Indianapolis Colts, and he's yet to be in the Hall of Fame. And even though I hate to say it, because I do not like them at all, and I hate their team more than anybody, look at Hines Ward. I actually thought Hines Ward was in the Hall of Fame. Hines Ward's not in the Hall of Fame, but you cannot have Edelman go in the Hall of Fame until some of those guys are in the Hall of Fame. You look at wide receivers who are going to be coming up for eligible to be in the Hall of Fame in the next couple of years. Like to me, the first player that pops up is Andre Johnson, the wide receiver of the Houston Texans. Andre Johnson has to be in the Hall of Fame 100% before Julian Edelman. Julian Edelman is not nearly as impressive as what people think he is. I mean, he was a really nice wide receiver. And, he, like I said, he was a 7th-round pick out of Kent State. He was a quarterback in college. Incredible career and a really nice story. He's overcame so much. Guys probably wasn't even going to make the team, ended up being a Super Bowl champion and a Super Bowl MVP. But I really don't think Edelman's a Hall of Famer. One of the reasons why I don't think it is, I posted this yesterday. And to me, this is a very interesting stat I found and I decided to post about. So as you see here, player A has played 137 games, 49.7 receiving yards per game. He averages 11 yards per catch. His catch percentage, so the percentage, when the ball is thrown to him, the percentage of the time he catches it is 65.9. So his catch percentage is 65.9. He has 36 receiving touchdowns for his career. That's all right. Player B, 146 games. For his career, he averaged 49.5 receiving yards per game, 11.5 yards per catch. His catch percentage was slightly smaller, less than player A. He had 63.8 catch percentage, while he had 8 more receiving touchdowns, with 44 receiving touchdowns for his NFL career. Player A is a supposedly Hall of Famer. I've seen some people, for instance, Pat McAfee, I watch his show all the time. He said Julian Edelman should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Player A is Julian Edelman. Player B is former Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver T.J. Houshmandzadeh, who's considered to be probably the 3rd or 4th best wide receiver in franchise history. When you're talking about Edelman, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. When you talk about Houshmandzadeh, the casual fan, he was all right. To me, it's one of those situations to go to the Patriots and the Steelers and the Cowboys, those specific 3 teams. If a guy has a decent career, he's going to the Hall of Fame. For a small market team, let's say like the Lions and the Bengals and teams like that, you have to have a phenomenal career to be in the Hall of Fame. But personally, I don't really think Edelman should be in the Hall of Fame because, okay, let's say Edelman had that stats. Let's say he won 1 Super Bowl instead of 3. If he had those stats and played with the Browns or the Bengals, there's no freaking chance he goes to the Hall of Fame. A lot of this has to do with him being with the Patriots and, winning Super Bowls. He did have that one incredible Super Bowl, winning the Super Bowl MVP. But take away the Super Bowls, his resume are not nearly as impressive. And to me, it's really unfair to, compare Super Bowl wins especially at the wide receiver position, because, like, for instance, I mean, like, you look at wide receivers. Larry Fitzgerald's never won a Super Bowl. He's a top 3 wide receiver of all time. Easily, in my opinion, the most underrated NFL receiver in NFL history. He's never won a Super Bowl, but look at those quarterbacks he had. And he's still been able to put up incredible numbers. Julian Edelman, with the Patriots, they had some other guys, like Wes Welker, Gronkowski, Amendola. He had the greatest quarterback of all time thrown to him, but he did not have nearly as nice stats as Fitzgerald. But Fitzgerald does not have a ring. Are you going to say that, like, Edelman is more deserving, because he has Super Bowl rings? I do not like the Super Bowl ring debate with wide receivers. I would say the only position in the NFL that you can kind of debate Super Bowl topics, or who's better with rings, is the quarterback position. That's the only position to me that you can kind of debate, what quarterback is better and stuff like that. But honestly, I don't really think Edelman should be in the Hall of Fame. But if he is, all those guys, like I mentioned earlier, like Heinz Ward, Torrey Holt, Jimmy Smith, Reggie Wayne, eventually Andre Johnson, like I said, he's going to be coming up, eligible soon. All of those guys need to be in the Hall of Fame before Edelman is. He's 100% not a first ballot Hall of Famer. If he's first ballot Hall of Famer, that's absolutely ridiculous. But if he's inducted, I still kind of think that's ridiculous. But I really don't think that Julian Edelman should be a Hall of Famer.